Welcome to the Teach Better Talk podcast, your official podcast for the Teach Better Podcast Network, the hub for all things education, brought to you by teachbetter.com. The Teach Better Talk podcast is committed to answering your burning questions through a variety of lenses and bringing new offers to you and your colleagues to help you thrive throughout the school year. My name is Ray Hewart, and we love your questions here on the pod. If you have any questions that you'd love us to consider as topics for future episodes, please share them with us by emailing info@teachbetter.com. Our topic this week is all about staying healthy. Y'all, I sit all day or I stand all day. We hear this constantly from educators. We are talking about the body. How do we keep you healthy? What stretches do you need to do in the middle of your day so your back doesn't hurt? How can we meal prep effectively? This week's already going to be a theme that I know I listen to over and over again. And a special shout out to Bria Fennell, who's been a part of our team for ages. She's an amazing educator, somebody who I know is constantly running around her classroom, and a member of our Teach Better team that makes us all look good, to be honest. So a special shout out to Bria and the amazing work that she's doing with the team, but also in the classroom as well. We have two amazing guests with us, and they might look familiar because you all know that the Teach Better team loves TeacherFit. We have two people a part of that crew, Eric and Nick. I'm so glad you're here. Eric, I'm going to start with you. How are you feeling?
I am feeling good. I'm ready to get into this topic. I am so passionate about health and wellness, and I'm an educator myself, so ready to just give some simple, easy tips to help educators just
it's going to be so good. So good. And friends, I promise to ask the dumb questions. Eric says he's a pro, so I'm believing him. Nick, you are a very familiar face to our community. We are huge fans here in the Teach Better team. How are you doing? How's life?
I am doing so well, Ray. I think this is episode 3 or 4. I've done some early morning coffee and chats. It's just every time it's an honor and a pleasure to be with you and the rest of the Teach Better team. So I'm feeling great, excited to be here and excited to introduce Eric as our director of member success to the team. He just brings so much value. So I'm excited to introduce him to the Teach Better community.
Oh, it's going to be so good. Nick Mann, for those of you who may not be familiar with all the episodes he's done with the Teach Better team, who's also part of the Teach Better conference, I will say he said Eric is cooler, knows more. I mean, I'm pretty much, no one's reaching out to Nick anymore. We're all going to be going to Eric. So Eric, I hope you're okay taking on the Teach Better community.
I can't wait. I'm glad to be part of it. Thanks for having me.
We're going to start out with, obviously, introductions. I know many of you are already familiar with TeacherFit, but in case you're not, these are two incredible members of that crew and definitely a community you want to be a part of. Eric, if it's okay, I'm going to start with you. Do you mind telling us a little about yourself? Who are you? What do you do? Kind of all that jazz.
So I am a new father, first and foremost. That is just an incredible blessing. I have a 9.5-month-old at home. Love him to death, little boy. I'm married, live in Jacksonville, Florida. I've been teaching elementary PE for 11 years, and it's exactly where I'm supposed to be. I just love it so much. Just growing up playing sports all my life and just not really having a great example around me. And my coaches, I just never felt like super connected to them. So it's just funny how God's using me now to give back to kids and to love on them and to just hopefully set a positive example for them. And then also now with this opportunity for teachers and for staff, and I just love all things health and wellness. I think it's so valuable because I forget the quote, but it's when you have your health, like 1,000 things matter, but when you don't have your health, only one thing matters, and that's getting your health back. So I think it's so important to just take care of our bodies and our mind as best as we can.
Eric, I know that so many of us, especially in the teaching field, need the reminder to take care of ourselves and take care of our bodies. So I really appreciate you all being a part of this week's conversation. We're going to be getting into a lot of different things. But before we move on with bios, Eric, do you mind sharing a bit? How did you get involved in TeacherFit? Like, why is this a cool community that you choose to be so intrinsically a part of?
So I was just posting on my personal page, just stuff about health and wellness, just kind of seeing who would follow it. Somebody might read it and it might make a difference in their life. And then Nick reached out to me and had me on the TeacherFit podcast. And we had a whole conversation about teacher wellness. And then afterwards, he just asked to talk to me for a few minutes and extended me an opportunity to work with TeacherFit and to be their director of member success. So it fit right into what I was already doing and talking about and passionate about. And so it just made perfect sense.
I love those virtual connections that turn into virtual friendships, that turn into co-working relationships. I know that world very well. Nick, you are always somebody who's doing the dot connecting, wanting to meet good people and bring them into your world, which is why I know when the Teach Better team connected to you, we were all obsessed with the work that you're doing, especially the work with TeacherFit. Tell us a little bit about yourself for those of people that are listening that may not know about the work.
Yeah, so I am a veteran of the United States Marine Corps. Loved my time in the Marine Corps, but was ready for a change and transitioned to my other passion that I've been excited about since I was a young person, into health and fitness. Ended up being a gym owner. And with that passion came a really desire to give back to my local community and work with students. And I was able and fortunate enough to start an after school program focused on mental health, physical health with students. And through that experience, working with both educators and students, I realized there was a true need for proactive wellness, both at the student level as well as at the teacher level. And being an entrepreneur, we had started a Zoom online workout early mornings, and we're like, this is like 2018, pre-COVID, pre-Zoom being a real thing, and I was like, I think we need to just focus on educators. Like, we have amazing educators in the gym. We have amazing educators that we're working with in our local school district. And that was the formation of TeacherFit in the spring of 2019. And through the last, I guess it's been 5 years now, we've been so fortunate to work with over 400 schools and districts in 5 countries to partner and provide proactive wellness solutions that teachers deserve and need, so that they can be that impact by example, which is what we live and die by. We want you to be healthy mentally, physically, and emotionally, so you can set that example for your students. I know as an individual, I can only impact a small number of people, but if I'm able to reach educators, they can in turn reach students around the world. And that's what drives Eric and myself, and what shows we're an amazing team. I can help with that quote. A man with 1,000 dreams, or a man with his health has 1,000 dreams, and a man without has but one.
That one, that's it.
And we want teachers to have their health so they can have 1,000 dreams, and in turn inspire students to have 1,000 dreams. And that's what we're all about at TeacherFit.
Guys, we are going to get into so many questions that you all have submitted for health suggestions. There's going to be so much good content here, but I also will give you a sneak peek that TeacherFit is offering the Teach Better team and the Teach Better community an enormous discount. I don't know how they're pulling this off, but that will be exclusive if you are listening to this podcast. So keep listening up. That is for specific teachers that might be looking to enhance their fitness goals. And then also they have a whole school discount. So amen to that. Get your principal involved. So we'll be highlighting that super soon. Gentlemen, you both mentioned that you are busy people, so much going on. You're both new fathers. You both have a lot going on in your world. Can I ask you the silly question, right? Not when you're working. What does health look like to you? Can you give us a definition? How do we know if we're doing a little audit of our body? Am I healthy? Am I not healthy? Help me out.
I would say it's
Eric, kick it off.
Yeah, I'd say ultimately it's how do you feel? Do you feel energized throughout the day instead of chasing a weight goal or a strength goal per se, which those things are good to chase, but also whatever you're doing, how is it making you feel? Is the food that you're eating consistently making you feel good? Are you able to move from one place of your house to another and not be exhausted? And I think ultimately it has to be fun as well, because that's what's going to keep us engaged and keep us moving, and just make cooking fun, make flexibility fun. It doesn't have to be a 30-minute stretch routine or an hour in the gym. It just has to be something that you enjoy. It could be gardening or walking the dog. Anything that gets your body moving and stretching and bending all different kinds of ways is gonna that's just a picture of what health is. And I think too often we get kind of hung up in it has to be an hour in the gym, or it has to be some elaborate meal that we have to cook. And no, it can be as simple as walking around the neighborhood or cooking the same thing every night for dinner that you just love, and you douse in this great Primal Kitchen sauce. I love Primal Kitchen. they're not a sponsor, but hey, if they're listening, come on.
Someday they will be, friends. Someday they're going to sponsor this podcast. It'll be awesome.
That's right. It makes everything taste better. But yeah, keep it simple and keep it fun.
I think that's something I really need in my life. I've always struggled with, I'm going to go be a runner because I need to be healthy, or I need to go to the gym for an hour because I'm going to be healthy. And we set fitness goals, and gosh, that is so not sustainable sometimes for some people, especially educators that are putting in crazy hours. And we don't even give educators the credit that we could, looking at the physical element of their job. We see teachers constantly all over the classroom, moving around, getting up and down off the floor. And again, when they get home, busy with their families or their dogs or any other animal that you have that you're celebrating in your household. So I really do appreciate that this conversation today can not only be maybe the next greatest idea for someone to go take a yoga class or be inspired to go try out, do a marathon, go train, but also can we just put in some healthy habits that get our body moving in a way that allow us to keep ourselves healthy and mobile. Can we talk about mobility a little bit? Do you mind speaking to that term?
Yeah, I think like I said just a second ago, I think it's just motion is lotion, keeping our bodies moving, keeping them active. I think oftentimes we just in a typical day, we sit in the car to drive to work, and then we sit at work, and then we sit on the way home from work, and then we sit down to eat dinner, and then we sit down to watch TV. And so we're always in this seated position that's causing, hip area and all kinds of tightness everywhere, which then leads to other issues because the whole body is connected from head to toe. And so I just love, like, for example, sitting on the floor with my son and like trying to like copy his movements, or just rolling around with them. Or that's just one example for me in my world. But in the classroom, it's moving around with your kids and, squatting down to pick stuff up. And, the ideas are endless. And I really think it's just about moving and just going through all different kinds of ranges of motion through just everyday activities.
We're going to get further into range of motion, including some stretches that you as an educator have to do throughout your week to make sure you're keeping your body healthy. Whether you're a classroom teacher, a coach, a principal, doesn't matter. Let's get into body movement. We'll be right back.
Quick pause to talk about the Educator Club Plus Mastermind. Are you looking for some accountability as you blend together your creative juices and your entrepreneurial goals? Well, why not join our Educator Club Plus Mastermind? This is a really special group that meets once a week for specialized coaching, weekly sessions, monthly events, office hours, and a ton of accountability. If you're truly looking to change your mindset from just being a creator to actually starting that side hustle and making some income, this is the mastermind for you. Head over to our Educator Club Plus community and learn more about the Teach Better Team Mastermind.
I shouldn't even be sitting during this podcast episode because we are getting into keeping yourself mobile. As a teacher, depending on your style, you're probably sitting a bunch, standing a bunch, moving around. We want to keep your body healthy. Nick, I'm going to throw it to you first and then run over to Eric, of course, for the better answer. But let's talk. What is common for teachers to have be sore? Okay, can we just talk about, can we normalize the fact that when we all get home, our lower back hurts? Is that not common? Is that just me?
I was going to go straight to the lower back. And it's not just because obviously we're teaching, we're standing, we're bending over a desk all day. But whether you want to admit it or not, we're also doing this all day. We're looking at our phones. Exactly, Ray. I know you're a problem. You're part of the problem. I see all of your posts all day, and I want to support you in this, but we can do better. So yes, your lower back, obviously, hamstrings, glutes are a huge contributor to that. And I'm a huge fan of just brilliance at the basics, like Eric talked about, keeping it simple, right? I'm not a smart man, but I know a simple way to be proactive about this is that simple forward fold. We've all seen it in yoga, right? We reach nice and high, and then we're just bending over. You can round the back, but you're going to feel it all the way through the hamstrings, the glutes, probably behind the knee, the calves, down to the Achilles, keeping those nice flat feet. And it doesn't take a lot of effort, right? We're just bending over, stretching out that whole posterior chain.
Do I have to be able to touch my toes?
Absolutely not. If you're looking at me, I cannot touch my toes. 6'4", not mobile enough. So do as I say, not as I do. But as you get more mobile, if you will, you can grab onto something simple. Maybe it's your phone when it's turned the other way so you're not distracted, and just use that as a weight, or grab something and start to add a little bit of, not necessarily resistance, but a little bit of weight to help you lengthen even more if you can't grab those toes.
So good to do. And friends, as a reminder, this can be happening during the 2-second break you have in the middle of your day, or right as you're finishing your lunch, as students are about to walk in, finding that mobility. Eric, I'm throwing it to you. I know we can talk about the lower back. We can go back to this 100 times over. Is there any way that you could give me some ideas for shoulders? Because I won't lie, shoulders, I think, is where I hold my tension. It's like in my neck. Is that abnormal too?
Yeah, so I want to touch on the back real quick. So anything like, if there's a back tightness, it's usually not the back that's the problem. It's the back is overcompensating for, like Nick said, tight glutes or tight hamstrings. And so when we stretch those, now our back doesn't have to work as hard. So in 2015, I had ACL surgery, and so I started favoring my left leg because my surgery is on my right side. And so my left leg started hurting. And the reason that was happening was because that was overcompensating for everything that was happening on the right side. So same thing with the shoulder, but the phone is a great example of tightness in your neck. And but there's a million different ways. I think strength, mobility, it's kind of a unique combination with it all. But I think let me back this chair up. I like to do the chicken wing stretch for your neck. Anybody ever heard of that?
No, go for it though. And friends, if you're listening to Teach Better Talk podcast, you're gonna have to go over to YouTube to watch this stuff.
So one hand behind, it's gonna be tricky. One hand behind the back, and you grab, other way, grab that wrist and pull.
Oh.
Now you got your chicken wing out here. All right, and you want to lean. It's just creating that extra tension in your neck there. So you want to lean to the chicken wing side, and then you can intensify it by looking up and then looking down.
Ray.
Really
feel that stretch in your neck over there. Yeah, it's a lot easier standing up, Ray. We're going to have to do it standing up one time.
I won't lie, friends. This feels really good. I think I need to do this in my life every day.
And then another one, just putting those hands out in front of you with your palms facing each other, and then really opening up the palms and bringing them back as far as you can, and then coming back. That's a great stretch. Do it 8 to 10 times. You can even give like a little squeeze back there, pulling your shoulder blades, trying to touch each other. That's another good one. There's Y's, T's, WLs. This will be the last one. Just Y's are here. Again, a lot easier standing up. T's, so my body is like the letter T. W's would be here. And then L's would be there. And it's an easy one to remember, YTWLs.
I love this, friends. If you're not watching over on YouTube, go subscribe to the Teach Better team over on YouTube, and you can watch these stretches. I don't know that you necessarily need to watch them every single day, because then you'll just laugh at us the whole time here sitting on our recording, but definitely watch them once to get your form. Eric was doing it very well, and then you can jot these down. And Eric, I'm only doing a few reps of these. These only take a few seconds. These are easy to incorporate during my lunch break, during my time walking to a meeting. There's lots of different things I can do here.
Yeah, absolutely. And as an elementary teacher, those little kids, they love to move. And I'm hoping every K through 12 kid loves to move, which just isn't the case in our society, unfortunately. But they want to move. And they're going to focus better because of that. And if you just get up there and do it with them and look silly with them, and they're going to look silly, and you're all going to look silly together, but you're all going to be stretching and moving your bodies and laughing and having a great time, and you're going to feel better afterwards. So I'm highly, highly recommend that for elementary kids.
Eric, something I was thinking through when it comes to student movement and incorporating movement is I think there's a common misconception that needs to be like a huge movement. It needs to be a lot of time dedicated to this practice. The reality is, if you decided that your bell ringer as a teacher in a high school math class or in an 8th grade English class was going to be taking 3 minutes and doing these stretch in some sort of facilitated way with students, you're really getting the body ready to learn regardless of what comes afterwards. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I think definitely our kids follow the example of our teachers and of just adults in society. Like, we're the ones that are one of the unhealthiest nations in the world. And that's exactly what our kids are seeing and what they're following. So I think it's so important that if we want our kids to be doing it, we have to lead by example and set that for them to, we got to be the ones doing the jumping jacks and counting by doing push-ups, or, you know, whatever you're able to do and whatever your kids are able to do. And I think when all that is connected, it's just a beautiful thing, which is why TeacherFit is so awesome, because it's prioritizing the most important person in the classroom. And that is the teacher, who then, and like Nick said, our tagline, impacts by example, setting that example for their kids and their students.
Yeah, I love this. There's so many ideas that are flowing through my mind now. Even if this becomes a routine in your classroom that you incorporate in as the school year gets started, you're getting students' bodies ready, but you also could create leadership roles, have student leaders go through some stretches. They could connect up with TeacherFit and other places to find those examples of healthy stretches. And, you know, you're dedicating somewhere between a minute and 3 minutes to get your students ready for that learning. Eric and Nick, I don't want to interrupt our conversation, but I feel like this is a really good time to talk about the TeacherFit Challenge that is happening just a few days away. It's starting on the 16th, isn't it?
Yes, it is. We are super excited. This is our sixth year of our back to school TeacherFit Challenge. And it's just our way to jumpstart the school year with healthy habits that we can establish now, so that when we get to the winter, the spring, and as we head to the end of the year, when burnout and fatigue and our bodies are hurting and our glutes are tight, that we have those daily habits in place to set us up for success. So we're really excited. It's a 30-day challenge. It kicks off next week, and it's going to be 30 days of mindfulness, fitness, nutrition, and really at the end of the day, building healthy habits that work for you as an individual, so that you can take care of yourself and be that impact by example.
Friends, I think this is the right time for all of us to commit to this. I know that I'm in for a 30-day challenge, but I also really love how this is structured, because it's structured for teachers. It's for the full year, that you have a one-time fee and you are going to be able to have the entire year done for you. I know in January, so many of us set New Year's goals to get fit, get healthy, get mobile, eat better. And yet, let's be honest, now we're setting goals in the middle, you know, as September kicks off, looking at so many different things we want to do with our students. Do not forget about yourself. This is a perfect opportunity to invest in yourself so you can be successful and capable and healthy to do what you need to do for your students. So the amazing deal that you guys have been able to throw together, I have no idea how you did this. It's $99 for the full year, but the Teach Better community is getting 20% off. And that is an enormous discount for an entire year. I mean, talk about, that's like 2 free months. And I don't even know what we did to deserve it, other than we're, you know, here having this conversation. So friends, use the code TEACHBETTER. This is not only good for you yourself, but this can apply to the full staff, that you can do like a school discount or a district discount. So if you're thinking, hey, I might want to do this for my body, this could be a really good opportunity to also bring it to your principal, bring it to your, you know, leadership coach, whoever maybe is the best fit for that, and say, hey, I'm doing this for me, but I know this can really benefit our staff. And Nick, Eric, something I really love is now we're emphasizing health school-wide. Eric, do you mind speaking to the value of leadership, making sure that they invest in their teachers and staying healthy?
Yeah, I think it's the whole trickle-down effect. When you have a healthier teacher, someone who shows up to work and their body feels good and their mind feels sharp, that is all just going down the snowball effect down to the students. And as a teacher myself, I just see the impact of a healthy school culture, and that mind, body, and, you know, culture in other ways, but also our mind and our body. And if I come in with an achy back, like, I'm going to take that out on my kids, and I'm going to be upset, and that all just sets for an environment that is not a good environment. And also teachers missing a ton of days due to sickness or illness. And, you know, that puts a lot of stress on a school when there's a sub shortage and you can't find anybody. So now your coworkers having to cover a class, or it's just a huge trickle down effect in so many ways. And schools are already so strapped for just time and the resources and, you know, staff allocation and all that. And so I think just when it's affects the whole school, that it bleeds down to every student and everybody feels the impact. Even it might not you might not see it directly, but indirectly people are being affected by us if we're not, taking care of ourselves and being in the best possible health that we can be.
Yeah, friends, a really easy way to do this is send them this podcast recording, whether you're listening on Teach Better Talk podcast or the YouTube channel. They can get a vibe of how Nick and Eric operate. Their whole team is amazing. I cannot sing their praises enough. And hey, it's always nice when your principal takes care of your fitness goals. One less thing for you to worry about. 20% off code using code TEACHBETTER. And again, I really appreciate you guys doing this. I know that we are very fortunate that you're giving our crew over 2 months free, and I really appreciate that. So you guys are the best.
Yeah, we're happy to do it. And to tie it back to what we were just talking about, Ray, when they join, not only are they getting, mindfulness, fitness, yoga, nutrition, all of our challenges, all of our run events for the full year, that also comes with our student fit class breaks. So they're going to have simple 2 to 4 minute class breaks with stretching, with mindfulness, with mindful tools they can throw on the smartboard and use as that time, not only to impact their students, but we should do them as well. Let's do a lunge with our students. Left leg, right leg, 4 minutes. Let's get into the day. So that comes with your membership to TeacherFit.
Ugh, so good. I can't wait to see the videos of this happening like I do every single school year, of this happening in science classrooms, math classrooms, PE classrooms, English classrooms, all over the place. I love when even just reading corner starts with a little bit of stretching to get the students in the right mental space. So I am so stoked for these resources and so stoked that it's going to help make your teaching a little bit easier, that you don't have to come up with all this on your own. Gentlemen, before we wrap up this episode with some key takeaways and everything else, can we touch just for a minute, quick meals, quick snacks, any tips or tricks for educators eating healthy? We don't have any time to eat. Teachers don't have a lunch. Eric, you know this. You do it every single day. Any suggestions here on something we should make sure to keep in our fridge and try and give that one reminder as we're making our grocery list later on?
Here we go. I got 3 ready. Protein, a veggie, and Primal Kitchen sauce. No, but really, if you put a protein on your plate, it's going to help satiate you and make you feel full throughout the day. You're not going to be needing to snack every hour when you're running around with your kids and you're stressed. If you have that feeling of fullness, then that's should last you from breakfast to lunch to dinner. Maybe a high protein snack is what I recommend if you are going to snack, because again, that satiation that protein provides. And then veggies to get all those micronutrients and all the wonderful things of veggies and fruit, and then a sauce to make it taste better. So I try to keep it super simple. I don't have to prep some large meal for the week. I just keep it really easy. And I might be a bad example because I just eat the same thing all week. So that works for me. And if you want to change it up, maybe you'll have leftover of a simple dinner that you had the night before and make a little bit of extra just to prepare yourself for the next day or two. And then another one for me is Greek yogurt. It's so easy to change it up with different fruits and maybe some local honey, and you can really mix it up, add some cinnamon, and there's a bunch of different ways to throw some different fruits on it to satisfy if you had a craving for something other than the same thing every morning. So those are just some quick ones for me.
Yeah, I love it. Any routine is kind of my vibe. And those people that post all over social media about their crazy cool food prep, all I do is direct message them. And I'm like, can I live in your house? Yeah. Otherwise, I need to keep things simple. So I love it. Eric, is this also where you want to let us know and officially announce that you work for this sauce company? Is this actually your full-time gig? You're not a teacher. You rep this sauce gig?
I wish I could say that. I just love them. They're so good. And they came out with those yum sauces and the chicken dipping ones and this. Oh my gosh, I bought one of each and they're incredible.
Man, all right. We're going to have to go look up this sauce. We'll be right back. Three takeaways from this episode. We have a full week dedicated to your health and physical fitness, but we want to make sure that these conversations don't get lost in the shuffle. These are not only saved on Teach Better Talk and our YouTube channel, but we also want to make sure that you jot down maybe a few things to keep in mind from takeaways from these conversations. Nick, I'm going to start with you and then head over to Eric. I'd love to hear a key takeaway or two that you really hope our listeners are able to grasp. And if we've not talked about it, then it's just a bonus, example of something that they should keep in mind. What comes to mind for you?
Yeah, for me, with everything that we do, it's all about brilliance at the basics. Like you've said, you don't have to prep the fancy meal. You don't have to have the crazy workout, the routine that is just out of this world. You just need to do more than nothing. Whether that's, hey, I'm going to eat real food. I'm going to focus on hydration. I'm going to go for a short walk at some point in my day. I'm going to prioritize me at some point today, every day. So again, it doesn't have to be fancy. It just needs to be a priority for you so that you can then turn and be that impact by example. So my takeaway, brilliance at the basics when it comes to your wellness.
So good. I feel like that's a good quote you could put on your fridge. Brilliant. I like this vibe.
I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, we're gonna have to make what is that thing, like car stickers? You like, I like that. I like that
Bumper
vibe,
stickers,
Nick.
yeah.
Got the entrepreneurial minds. This is good. Eric, I'm going to you. Any takeaways that you really hope our community is able to pull out from this episode?
Well, as an educator, we all know that the education system can be a huge challenge, and it can emotionally take us away from the people that are truly important to us. I mean, everybody's important in our career and our home life, but we can't be replaced at home or with our friends. Like that's a much difficult position to replace than your job as a teacher. And yes, we want to show up and be the very best teacher we can be, but we can only do that if we prioritize ourselves first. And that sometimes might mean letting some things go, letting some emails go unanswered, or getting back to somebody a day or two later because you turned it off at a certain time and you went home to your family and to your friends and prioritized your life as a whole so you could go back the next day and show up to be your very best. Because education it's a challenge, and it just seems to be becoming more and more challenging. And so just don't let it take everything away from you and your life. And it's a part of who you are, but it's not your identity and it's not who you are. So that's number one. And then number two, when it comes to wellness, just keep it simple and keep it fun. Again, as an elementary teacher and as a PE teacher, I am the fun police. I am the one that the kids love to come to because we have so much fun. But any teacher can do it. When you're at recess, play soccer with your kids if you love soccer. Jump rope with your kids. Get out there and just be a kid and let it all go. And outside of the school and at home, just keep it fun, keep it simple, keep movement something that you really, really enjoy. It doesn't have to be any kind of strength training routine. It can be a walk, playing with the kids. You name it. There's a million examples of something that you can find something you love. And so keep it fun.
I'll tell you, both my dogs are sitting here with me while we're recording this episode, and I'm sure all they heard was, we're going on a walk every day, all the time, constantly. Okay, cool. Eric, how can our community stay connected to you and TeacherFit to make sure that they continue this conversation? And also they need to use this discount code. Don't forget, friends, Teach Better is the code. It'll be easy for you to remember. 20% off Epic.
Yes, you can join the TeacherFit app with that code. We would love to have you. You can find me on there as TeacherFit Eric, and I'd love to have a conversation with you, love to connect with you and provide support and accountability on your wellness journey. And my Twitter name is Coach Eric Nelson. And you can find me on Instagram at Coach_Eric Nelson. So send me a message. Let's connect. I'd love to support you on your wellness.
So fun. Nick, I know that you are the man in charge, but any other highlights we want to give our community here of handles or websites or apps they need to download for TeacherFit?
We're TeacherFit everywhere: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, the TikToks, if the kids are still on that. And then we will make sure Ray has a special link if you guys are looking to join for the school year. It'll be in the show notes wherever you're watching this. I will share that with Ray, and you can follow that link, use your code, and you're in. And Eric and I look forward to working with each and every one of you and helping you take that next step, whatever that may be in your wellness journey.
So good. Friends, if you have any issues connecting with these guys or TeacherFit, please just let us know. The Teach Better family is very familiar with the work they're doing and always a supporter. Also, friends, if you need to convince your principal to get that school membership, let me know, and I'll also be on that helping. So happy to get your fitness journey started as we enter into September. Guys, thank you so much for joining the conversation. This was an amazing opportunity. I really appreciate you both.